All right, time now for our rants and raves, starting with Mike.
I am going to offer a qualified rave, some might say it's a rant, for the teacher, the woman who on the flight last week, I'm going to call her a citizen journalist at this point, took the cell phone video of the guy behind her, and you can see it right here. You've probably seen it already. She reclined her seat. He asked her to move it while he was having dinner, and then she moved it back after he was done, so he didn't like that, so he kept punching the back of her seat. The interesting thing about this, other than we can all relate to this situation, it has started, just Google it, Google News it, it has started a national debate about etiquette on airplanes and what's right to do, what's not right to do, and it's amazing how the national dialogue from this one little piece of viral video has exploded, and I think that's a good thing.
Okay, we got to go down the line and just weigh in here. Who is in the wrong in this situation? I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh, I think they're both in the wrong. I think he's more in the wrong. He's a bigger jerk than she is, put it that way.
No, don't put people you don't know up on video on YouTube without their permission.
Okay, clearly you guys are wrong, and he's the biggest jerk. I'd use stronger language if this weren't a family show. Dan?
He's the bigger jerk, but they're both jerks.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
Yeah.
What you guys are missing. All right, next we have Dan Kennedy.
I have a rave for our international journalism students at Northeastern who have started a website called Global Observer that has been getting a lot of attention this week. They have been doing reports on the coronavirus story, reaching out to people in Wuhan, and it's just been incredible stuff. And we've also had a terrific piece by another student who was explaining why the MBTA isn't nearly as good as public transportation in South Korea and a number of other countries. It's just really great stuff. It's, you know what, on Twitter, it's GObserver_NU.
And these are these primarily students who are from elsewhere in the world?
Yes,
okay.
they are our international students and mostly graduate students.
I don't know if we have time. What did they come up with on coronavirus? Anything interesting?
They had video from Wuhan. People took the video and they shared it. It's
pretty remarkable to be able to get, actually. Then we've got Joanna.
So I've got a rave, I think, for a guy named Eddie Martinez. His claim to fame is that he answered an ad on the alumni message board for the City University of New York's Craig Newmark School of Journalism to stand in line for a famous New Yorker journalist at the Harvey Weinstein trial. So that got a lot. When the ad went up, it got a lot of attention because everyone wondered who's the reporter and why would they do this.
Because the reporter wanted a seat inside.
The reporter wanted a seat inside, and you had to wait, at 6 a.m., and the reporter did not want to wait with the hoi polloi. So, but this was actually not a tell-all piece. The reporter, by the way, was Ken Auletta. And Eddie Martinez went and said it was just a transactional situation, which he knew going into it and accepted completely. The sad thing about the piece, which he wrote for Columbia Journalism Review, is what it really is just sort of the starkest look I've seen at what it is like for a journalism graduate today to enter the market, particularly in New York. This guy is working full-time with benefits for a Japanese newspaper that just shut down its U.S. edition, so who knows what's going to happen. He said all of his friends are struggling.
Well, good for him.
And so, $20, $40 a day, really and he was very respectful about it.
And he wrote for CJR.
And he wrote for CJR.
Which is nice balance again. All right, Callie.
So I have a qualified rant for Mass Live, which yesterday shut down its comments on its site. They said they tried everything. They went into the expensive moderation, and they found out that it was a small group of people who were just controlling the dialogue, not in a good way. So that if people want to respond, they can click on the name of the reporters, get direct response, or they can go to social media. Editor is available, everybody, but they just cannot do comments. They did point out
really
that NPR shut down comments. We don't have comments on WGBH News, which always frustrates me because I feel like if people want to reach out, they can. But I do understand, because having read the comments, particularly on the Globe, sometimes it's so disgusting you can't even. And that's what after they've moderated it, So I get it. It just seems like, wow, we lost something. But they're right that certain small groups have tried to control it.
I'd give them a qualified rave.
All right, really quickly, I want to get my rant in. It is for YouTube. YouTube has steadfastly failed when it comes to taking down these really disgusting videos that have been made involving the death of that young reporter and young cameraman, Allison Parker and Adam Ward, back in 2015. Allison Parker's father has filed a federal complaint because YouTube is totally unresponsive to his attempts to get these videos pulled down. YouTube claims that it's doing what it needs to do. They took issue with the report on the father's complaint, and then the reporter produced multiple examples of videos involving this horrific death, sent them to YouTube. YouTube then took them down and referred her back to their original statement. It bowls me over that they can find ways of screening out completely innocuous stuff. We've talked about Facebook, other outlets, but something like this they should be able to get a handle on.
Oh my